Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Monday video. Welcome to this collective awakening video. Thank you to everybody who was present on last week's workshop, the Getting to Know Your Team of Light. The recording is available for anyone that missed it and wishes to really personalize their connection with their team. It was a very beautiful, very sacred workshop, so thank you. But today, as we build up to this new moon, which is just a couple of days from now, this powerful eclipse, an eclipse like no other, really. What I'm being guided to ponder upon, to muse upon with you all, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and your feelings in the comments if you wish to share them, is very much about whether we are able, truly able, whether we are practiced in seeing past our observation, past our reality, observation of reality in order to consciously create. Can we go into the womb of this universe to create in divine light? Or do we get distracted? Do we get distracted by what observations, part of our council of self? And I tap my head here because it is usually the mind that has these multiple active council members of yourself, versions of yourself, choosing to hook on and focus on something. Because to be an effective creator and to create what it is that you truly wish for in expansion and love and peace, in harmony and abundance and bliss, we have to be able to release the condition. We have to be able to not see it. We have to be able to have our vibrations so powerfully anchored that even if we notice something, can we let that, whatever that was that we noticed, because it would be a condition, can we let whatever it was that we noticed breeze on by, flow on by? For example, if we find ourselves in a challenging or contrasting situation and we want to create something very different, usually we're trying to manifest, we're trying to create from effort, from our mind, from a focus that is actually based on the very thing that is blocking the manifestation, blocking the creation. Whenever we're in a state of contrast, whenever we're in a state of challenge, whenever we're in a state of, being squeezed in here energetically, it's only us doing that through our observation, through our perception. It is only us creating that sensation of restriction, that sensation of limitation, that sensation of challenge or contrast. It's only us creating that, because we're creating it based on an initial point of focus, an initial observation we've had that seems to validate a lack experience. Does that make sense? So let's say money is always a big one. So let's look at that. Let's say we decide that we want more money, whatever it's for. We need more money. We need another grand or another $2,000, or maybe just a couple of £100. It's always nice. There's a phrase that I always hear: oh, it's always nice to have a bit more money. But it's so interesting because usually when people say that, they're already looking at a situation where they feel depleted or lacked, limited. And so the initial vibration that set that train in motion, that set that trajectory going, is that I don't have enough. Okay? I don't have enough. I feel limited. We put a condition upon ourselves. We allow our vibration to drop and match that limited observation. So then how, because I can hear in the comments, well, how do we shift that around? Because this reality is very real, right? This reality is incredibly real. How do we see past what we are observing? How do we see past the physical reality to see the truth, to align with the truth? Well, it's going to be very challenging to just switch and pivot from one place to another. I feel like I want more of this. I don't have enough of this, so I'm going to ask for more of this, and I'm going to try, there's that try again, and manifest it. If we're trying anything, we're already blocking it. What we're actually doing is we're energetically, like if we look at this as electricity, we are electrical beings. Every cell has a voltage, has a charge, right? And what we're actually doing is the vibration that we initially have, the initial premise of what we've observed. So if it's lack, which is causing us to ask for more, oftentimes we want that more thing in that moment, and we forget that we are still repelling, like a magnet repelling something. Instead of a magnet attracting, it's that magnet repelling the other thing. It's almost as though we are repelling what it is that we desire, because we are in fact attracting based on the initial observation. So what do? Well, we got to release that thought. We've got to let that thought dwindle out. We've got to let that thought just fizzle out. So a great thing to do is to do something completely different. Something completely different. That's going to cause you to get more in your body and less in your mind. Because if the thought is in the mind, right? Yes, thoughts can be embodied, which is what happens. We practice thinking a thought for a very long time. It becomes part of our cellular makeup. It becomes part of our blueprint, our imprint that we've allowed to be a part of us. And so we need to do something different with the body to distract the mind. That could be something as simple as making some food. It could be something as simple as going out for a walk, meditation. Although if we're really, really charged, meditation probably isn't going to be the thing that helps you in that moment. You'll have to do something different to move the body, to shift the charge of electricity that is there right now. Because when you're in that different space, when your mind has forgotten for long enough whatever the thought was that you were thinking of, whatever the base vibration was that was creating the challenge, the contrast, the lack, the limitation, what happens is we actually, it's like something opening up, like a wind tunnel, and the breeze of inspiration starts to flow through it differently. We start to see, hear, receive, because that's the key. We're focused so much of our time in trying to focus our energy, putting it out there, trying to pull something in, when really our true point of, well, points of attraction, for lack of a better phrase, but our true point of magnetism is very, very high. So we don't have to try for anything. It is only the mind that actually blocks whatever it is that we want by thinking about it. We can't think enough about anything that will actually bring us a solution that will be productive and how we want it to be. So that's why we've got to open ourselves up for that divine inspiration. Some call it divine inspiration, some call it many other things. The point is, can we look past the story of our observation long enough to allow ourselves to enter that void space of wonder, where there is no charge, where there is nothing really, because everything is neutral, except for how we focus the charge. Everything is neutral. So can we see something occurring? Can we see something and let it flow through us so swiftly, so unencumbered, that it actually doesn't even register? Can we look at our bank account and go, not even seeing what is written there? Not even seeing what is written there. Can you look at the price of something without even feeling this way or that about it? A charge either way. Money is always a big one. It's very convoluted. So we can apply this to many things. We can apply this to anything else, right? It doesn't have to be money. It could be food, you know? It could be food. What someone is offering you to eat or to drink. It could be anything. How an animal's going to respond to you, whether you're going to meet an animal on your walk, you know? Have you ever done one of those? Have you ever done one of those games when you were younger, when you were a child, and you really wanted to see, for example, red cars? Maybe you did this if you had a friend or a sibling growing up. One of you is spotting the red cars, one of you is spotting the blue cars. And then all of a sudden, it seems that there are more and more and more red cars appearing every second of every day, or more blue cars appearing every second of every day. And it's not that there necessarily were more red cars, it's that we're noticing them, right? Do you remember doing that as a child? I wonder if you did that. And the reason why we say this is because negative observations, lack-based, limited observations are like this. As soon as we register something in our mind, as soon as we see it, observe it, and it registers in our mind, we go, oh, because the mind will always want to make a logical pattern. You're going to start to spot more and more of it. But that does the opposite of what we want, because that only enhances our feeling of lack. That only enhances that point of attraction there. So what do we need to do? We need to relax and breathe and start to receive in a different way. And we have to let go of that observation. Let go of the conditions around it in order to create a pathway so open that when it is the right moment for divine inspiration to arrive, it arrives, you see it, you feel it, you receive it, and you know in that moment that that was divinely guided inspiration. Can you observe something without your vibration being swayed, and without you placing a condition upon the thing you see or upon yourself? It feels very much like that is something that we are practicing right now as a collective. And that is what we are being shown right now as we move towards an eclipse. It is a gateway moment. Eclipses always are. Timeline jumping. So whether we can discipline our focus and our mind is going to really speak to what we jump into. It's an incredibly powerful time and a lot of forward momentum, and our vibration naturally is high. We are naturally magnetizing the best things. So I wonder how many of us can get out of our own way, because I know that's something that I practice. How quick, how soon can I step out of my own way? Anyway, I send you so much love. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. Thank you for sharing your thoughts around this if you have any. And I look forward to seeing some of you soon in the next workshop. You can see all of them listed on my website, aliceheath.com. Some really fun, powerful workshops lined up. And